Hello, everyone. All right, some more people are joining.
Welcome, everyone.
Hi, Sharon. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Dana. And Karen and Bella, part of the mod squad.
Oh, yeah.
Nice to see you, Bella. Well, I'd love to see your camera. Nice to see your name.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to our Lunch and Learn. For those of you who are online watching at home, hello. And we are so excited. This is our 109th Lunch and Learn today.
Wow.
And we have two very special guests. Awesome. V will be arriving shortly. Awesome, Bella. Okay, so we are going to get started and we're going to monitor the chat. So feel free to put anything in the chat that you'd like. And I'm going to have Lupe take it away with the intro.
Yeah, just before we get started, I'm going to go over a couple Zoom rules. Just please mute yourself when you're not speaking. We do recommend speaker view for presentation, and video sharing is optional, but we like seeing everyone's lovely faces. And then please type all questions and comments into the chat. We like seeing that interaction with our speakers. And then at the end, we'll have a short Q&A. So if you want to wait till then to ask your question, you're more than welcome to. If you don't feel comfortable asking your question, you could type it into the chat and I'll ask the presenters. Just a couple Autism Tree updates for anyone who is new. We offer 19 programs, 13 of them are in person, 3 are hybrid, and 3 are virtual. We have 14 upcoming events this February, and just check all of our social medias as we announce new events all the time. For this week, we have a couple upcoming events. We have a USC basketball home game tomorrow, February 16th at 6 p.m. at the Jenny Craig Pavilion. And we have our virtual coding workshop on Saturday, February 18th at 10 a.m. That's via Zoom. And we have adaptive dance on Saturday, February 18th as well at 12 p.m. We have our musical playgroup at 1 p.m. at the Musical Therapy Center. And then on Sunday, February 19th, we have our Fit and Fun workshop at 10 a.m. at the Sevilla Park. And we have our first USC baseball home game on Sunday, February 19th at 1 p.m. So everyone, I recommend attending. But up to date, we have 491 impact videos in our YouTube channel. So please subscribe today. We love all of our subscribers. And we have 108 Lunch and Learns uploaded in our YouTube. If you want to go watch previous Lunch and Learns, and then this one will be uploaded by the end of the week. And then I'll pass it back to Rebecca Barron, our Director of Operations.
Thank you, Lupe. So just to piggyback on that, I am so excited. We're so grateful to have our partnership with USD. So we have the USD basketball coming up on Thursday and then USD baseball happening on Sunday. If you want to volunteer or just watch the game with our families, we are welcome everybody to attend. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to visit. We're going to see the baseball players after the game, and every single one of our kids will be paired one-on-one with their own baseball player for the whole season. So I highly recommend, let's kick off this first home game with a lot of fun, and we're gonna have a great time. So if you'd like to sign up, please reach out to me or Lupe, and we'd love to tune you into all of our events that are happening because this is our 20th anniversary year. And at the beginning of the year, Dana and I, Dana, our executive director that you could see on this picture on the very left, who's also here, she and I made a goal to have at least one autistic guest speaker on our Lunch and Learn series for this year, since it's our 20th anniversary year. And of course, we want to keep going. So we are so honored and grateful for our special guest, Otto, Lana, who is very active in the chat, and he will be presenting today from ImPossible to I Am Possible. And thank you also to Angie Kim, who is an international best-selling author as well, who I will let Otto explain the connection between Angie, but thank you so much to you both for your time today. And we are so excited to learn from you today. So I'll go ahead and start Otto's slides as well. So Lupe, stop sharing. There we go. Perfect. All right, Otto, you can take it away. We're going to spotlight you.
Are you going to, you're going to show the slide though, right?
Yes, I'm going to share the slide. Hold on.
Okay, perfect.
Hold up right now. Present. All right. Got it. Love this slideshow.
Thank you, Lana, Rebecca, Lupe, and everyone at Autism Tree. Thank you to everyone tuning in. Thank you to Angie Kim, what a treat. Thank you to everyone for their generosity of time and of spirit. And especially thank you for believing in ImPossible. I am not Lana. If you do not know me, that is okay. You will never forget me after this. I am the first to tell you I am a work in progress.
Word.
Please remember, the loudest voice in the room isn't always the most intelligent or informative description of the problem to be discussed. The problem? We need to decipher the problem we are facing. Then we can solve problems and quickly generate as many new ideas as possible. Let's discuss. The problem is the word problem. It has a negative connotation. I am not a problem to be fixed. I am a world of possibilities. Letters create words, and words create worlds. Words matter. Words set the tone for any interaction. Think about it. Words can be inflammatory or incendiary. Words can diffuse and comfort too. The words on this slide represent both the lock and the key to my success. Communication is an exchange of ideas, a social construct. Without a reliable mode of communication, I am not a participating member of society. This is where access and support come into play. I am not a burden on society because I require access to a different type of communication and because I require support to access that communication. I am a member of society that requires support to be successful. Ableism is a systemic problem we will all encounter. Take a minute to absorb that concept. We will all be disabled if we live long enough. We will all experience ableism. Information and education is how we can stop this ism. Never be afraid to admit you were wrong. Reevaluate. Change course. Try new things. This is the best way to move forward. There is a whole world of possibilities. Amazing people in my life have unlocked the world of possibilities. Educators, therapists, professionals, volunteers, complete strangers have all opened doors I never imagined even existed. Plus the fact that I rarely say no to an idea or an experience. And I am a pretty confident guy, so people rarely tell me no. Keynote speaker at a global neuroscience conference. Check. Virtual book club. Check. Sensitivity read for a manuscript in progress. Check. Motivational speaker. Check. Entrepreneur. Check. Thank you for believing I am possible. Every time someone believes in me, great things happen.
Thank you, Otto. We're your biggest fans at Autism Tree, and I know there's a lot of people on here that are part of Otto Nation too. And we're just so grateful to be a part of your journey. And I'm really excited to hear from Angie as well next. And how you can go ahead and explain how you'd like to, how you and Otto got acquainted and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this. Thanks to Otto for reaching out, and thanks to Autism Tree. I'm so excited to be here. So I am here because I was introduced to Otto by a friend of mine, Janelle Brown, who is also an international bestselling New York Times bestselling author. She, I think, got connected to Otto because someone who came to her last book's launch or, part of her tour in San Diego, apparently came up to her and said, hey, I know someone who has a virtual book club, and would you like to come to that as our author guest? And she has a book out called I'll Be You. And it's actually a book that I was a beta reader for. We're in, Janelle and I are in the same writing group. In fact, she's actually here in Mexico with me. I'm at a writing conference in San Miguel, and she's here as well. And we're doing kind of a writing retreat / writing conference together. But in any case, she was a beta reader for my manuscript in progress for my second novel, which is called Happiness Falls. And it's coming out this fall in September from Hogarth Random House and by Faber and Faber in the UK. And she had just read first draft of it, or maybe the second draft or something like that. And it features Otto says tacos and tequila. Yes, yes. So we just had that. And it features a non-speaking 14-year-old named Eugene. And she had just read it, and she was really touched by it, and she loved the characters and the story. And she's in my writing group, so she's seen this family for a number of years. And as soon as she attended Otto's virtual book club for her book, she called me and she said, you have to meet Otto, Lana. And she said, he's just amazing. It reminds me of the character in my novel, except, older and, so much more experience. And he has this like great group. And what she was most impressed by was just the level of sophistication of and insight in Otto's and his cohorts, the others in his book clubs. Otto says, I have that effect on people. I love his self-confidence. And she said, you just have to talk to him because I think that he would be a great reader for you. Not only just from a sensitivity read perspective, which she knew that I was looking for, but also just from the fact that he's just a great reader of literature in general. He asked such good questions, had such great insights, and she was so impressed. So I reached out to Otto. I found him on Instagram. I found Otto's mottos, and then I reached out through an email and wrote this fawning email asking him if he might consider being a beta reader for me. Again, not just for the sensitivity read, for the autism and the non-speaking parts, but just in general as, you know, an astute reader of stories. And I'm so happy that he reached back and he said that he would be willing to. So my publisher was so excited, and my publisher, I should say, my editor, David Ebershoff, who's my editor for this novel, he actually was the editor, you know, I don't know how many years ago it would be now, for The Reason I Jump by Naoki Higashida. And he is David Mitchell's longtime editor. And David Mitchell, of course, was one of the translators for that book. And so he kind of knows, you know, this world, and he knows how much this means to me, to be connected with Otto. And he was so excited for me. And he sent out a manuscript to Otto, I think that day. And Otto, when he received it in the mail, he actually took a selfie with the picture, with the book, and sent it to me. And I sent it to my publisher, my editor, my publicist, my agent. We were all sort of like doing this little dance of joy. And Otto read both that book, the manuscript, and Miracle Creek, which is my debut novel. And he was so kind enough to really send very thoughtful feedback about the story and the storyline, but also about the language that I used. And for example, I described, you know, some of the stims that, quote unquote stims, which is what I called it in the novel. And I also, in the beginning of the story, because it is a journey for the characters to go through and sort of learn more about the non-speaking community. So in the beginning of the book, I use the term nonverbal, and then there's like a little segue where they learn why that's not, you know, an appropriate word to describe people like Otto and my character Eugene, and things like that. And so he sort of had really interesting thoughts about the usage of all of these things, and encouraged me to, for example, in lieu of using the term stim, you know, just describing it and then using motor loop, for example, and just had really thoughtful things to say about, you know, what some of the terms, what kind of an effect that has on him and some of his friends and colleagues and things like that. So it was really a great experience for me. And I do have some other quote unquote authenticity readers, you know, that my editor uses and, you know, asks for who are autistic, but they're not non-speaking. So to get Otto's perspective was wonderful. And one of my sensitivity readers also was Elizabeth Fossler, which I know a lot of you know, and she was wonderful as well. But again, it's not just knowing the world and knowing the community, but getting the feedback directly from somebody, you know, who has gone through that experience that I'm trying to describe for one of my characters. So I thought that was really cool. I hope I haven't gone on too long, but that's sort of in a nutshell what how Otto and I became acquainted.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much, Angie. I mean, you're not going on too long. We've got until 1 o'clock, so we have plenty of time, and I have so many questions too, and I'm sure other people do too. So I welcome anybody to ask questions.
Yeah.
The first one, I'm so glad you connected with Otto. You know, we actually started the book club during the pandemic organically through these lunch and learns. One of our amazing one of the doctors that helped us found Autism Tree. He has a daughter, Danielle, who's going to medical school. And during the pandemic, she didn't want to go to online school. So she had been reading a bunch of books, and she came to one of our lunch and learns, and it just organically started talking about this book and how it reminded her of the guest speaker that we had. And so we welcomed her to do a book club. And
Oh,
who else to show up but Otto and all of his typer friends? And it just took off from there. And Otto has been, featured in our conference, for the neuroscience conference, for the last 2 or 3 years. So it's been an incredible journey. Yeah, Otto says, thank you for validating my lived experience. Oh, I love that. And he said, yes,
love
Danielle
that.
and I have become very close. Yes, they are co-hosts and like our Autism Tree, like book rock stars.
Yeah, and I attended one as a guest for wait, what is wrong with me that I can't think of the book, which I loved, and sorry, my brain
Was it
is not
Anthony
working right.
Doors?
It was Anthony Doors, exactly, but I just can't think of what is the book called? What is wrong with me that I
I
can't
have
think
it right
of?
here. It's Cloud
Yeah.
Cookie Land.
Yes. Yes. I kept on thinking of David Mitchell's, because I just talked about David Mitchell, Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. And I was like, I know it's not Cloud Atlas. What is it? What is it? So sorry about that. Yeah, but I attended that and I was so impressed. And I know that Anthony Doerr was too. I mean, he was floored by all of this. I think most people are when they sort of see what kind of an impact our societal sort of biases and prejudices have had, because it's confounds our expectations, it's too bad that our expectations have been set in this weird way, that just because we equate oral fluency with intelligence, right, which is so unfair.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's why we need people like Otto speaking out and
Exactly.
speaking to everybody.
Exactly.
I love it. I also wanted to ask, what is your release date for your book, for your newest book?
Yeah, so my newest book, it's the release date is September 26th. Yeah, and it's called Happiness Falls. And a lot of people ask me why I'm so interested in. Oh, and look, Bella has joined us.
Yay! Bella says,
Hi,
I'm happy that
Bella.
more allies are here.
Hi. I feel it's so fun to see. Yeah, Otto says so fun to see everyone. I agree, especially for me because I've been following you on, Instagram. So sort of seeing people that I've been following, it's such a fun experience. It's sort of like when you see celebrities, right? Yeah. So my book, Happiness Falls, one of the things that people ask me is why I became interested in this topic. And so just to just give you a little bit of a sense on that is that I am a Korean immigrant. So I came over from Korea to the US not speaking any English in middle school. And as someone who experienced that, it was a really, really hard time for me because, I was like 11, 12, and in being in middle school, which is such a hard time anyway, not speaking the language and going from someone who in Korea like felt like a smart, gregarious, extroverted person with lots of friends to coming here and then not by virtue of not speaking the language and I guess not understanding for a long time, really sort of feeling like it's a Korean word called babo, which means, kind of if you do a strict translation, it would translate into like an idiot or a stupid person, that type of thing. But I don't like to use those words. So I like to think of it in Korean because in Korean, sometimes people use that term. in an affectionate way. So it's not considered as, problematic in that language. But in any case, so I felt like that. And just feeling like that loss of intelligence all of a sudden, even though I knew that I had these thoughts within me. And then when I began to learn English, and so I could understand what people were saying. Oh, and look, there's William too. Hi, William. But not being able to speak it. So all the other kids in middle school thought that I still couldn't understand English. So when that happens, as I think a lot of people in this virtual room know, people just talk about you as if you weren't even there. And it was a humiliating experience. It was horrible. And I think it really just did a number on my self-confidence. To this day, I'm over 50 years old. So it's like been 40 years. And to this day, I feel this deep sense of insecurity that even lingers on even now, even though I'm very successful. I went to Harvard Law School and, I was a lawyer and all the stuff. But I still have that. And so fast forward a number of years, I have 3 boys, ages 14 to 21 now. And they're all fine now, but as babies, they all had medical issues. And one of them had ulcerative colitis as a baby and toddler. And when he was like 3 years old, for that and celiac disease, we decided to do an experimental treatment called HBOT, or hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And that's sort of what I talk about. That's the settings for my first novel, Miracle Creek. And so we did a group HBOT chamber with 4 people inside for each session. And so the other people in my session were all families with children who were autistic. And some of them are still my best friends. I'm in the DC area. So we have like this great group of families, and I'm sort of like, still a member. And so I got to sort of see that life and became very, very good friends with some of those families. And then after I did HBOT, I started learning about spelling. And I heard stories of children who I knew who I'd considered nonverbal, truly like I thought they were truly nonverbal. I truly thought they didn't have any words or thoughts inside, the way that, because of the expectations and the diagnoses and the labels that we attached. And then when they started doing things like, all the same things that, Otto and facilitated communication and SOMA's methods and, spelling, spell to communicate, all of those things. And my group of friends with supposedly nonverbal children whom I knew, and all of a sudden they were producing these beautiful essays. And I think learning about that and then seeing them actually, type out words or point to, words on the letterboard and produce these things, I just started crying and I just could not stop, because I think it just was not only sort of my thoughts about them, but also I think, I didn't make the connection right away for a long time. And I'm definitely not equating my experience with what, non-speakers go through, because mine was temporary. It was very limited. But even so, even though it was so temporary and limited, I was so affected by it. So I think I was thinking, if it made it was that awful for me, what is it like for the multimodal communicators, right? Thank you so much, William, for that suggestion, for that chat note. And so it just really made me think about that. And then when I started writing novels and stories, just so many of my stories and novels have characters that don't have a way of expressing themselves through oral communication. So that's like something that just came out. And it wasn't until not that long ago, maybe like 3 years ago, that my husband asked me, like, why are you so obsessed with this? Why are all of your characters grappling with this? And I was like, I don't really know. And then I did what I do when I don't know something, which is I write. So I sort of like did a lot of self-interrogation. And I sort of realized that this is the connection. That's why it matters so much to me, and why I really want to try to interrogate our societal assumption that we have that oral fluency matters, and that oral fluency is equivalent to intelligence, because it doesn't matter what the reason that you might not have full oral fluency or any oral fluency whatsoever. It doesn't matter what the reason is. I know from my own experience, and I know from the experience of my students. I now am teaching creative writing to some of Elizabeth Vossler's community members. And I know that it is not equivalent, and yet our society just can't get their heads around the fact that it's not equivalent. And so I just want to use whatever. So for me, telling stories involving characters who don't maybe realize it in the beginning of the story and come to realize that, to me, that's like a great way for me to understand and try to interrogate why people feel this way. And I threw some philosophy and happiness theories and things like that in there that hopefully make it sort of fun as well. So that's another long-winded way of sort of explaining why I'm so interested in this topic, and why I have characters with family members, who are multimodal communicators, right? We all are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That was my next question. So you answered
Yeah. Yes,
I
absolutely.
story. And Otto, I'm gonna pay attention to the chat.
Yes, exactly. That's what, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, this is why we need positive roles in arts and entertainment. Absolutely. And positive representation educates others. It really is, yeah. And William said, unmuted connections make the world better.
Mhm.
I love that. I
Yeah.
really love that. I want to frame that.
Yes, definitely. And Otto, thank you. Yeah, Otto said, yes, it was still clearly traumatic for you. Thank you for recognizing that, because that's, and it's so, again, it's nothing compared to what you went through for years and years. And I went through it for like, 2 years, and it was limited, and it was just awful. So and again, I think that's the thing. It's the level of emotions, characters who have like deeply seated emotions, obviously, are really interesting to me. And so that's another reason why, right? Like just knowing that all these complicated emotions exist, and yet persisting, and yet hoping after all of that, that just is so impactful to me. And those characters seem just so wonderful to me. So that's why I wanted to explore them too.
I love that. Bella says, I love listening to you, Angie.
Oh, thank you so much, Bella. I really feel like, I've seen so many cool pictures and videos of Otto and William and Bella and things. So it's really, really cool just sort of seeing your faces. Love it.
Otto says, nonsense, Angie. Triggers are triggers. Don't discount your lived experience.
I love that. You know what? Thank you so much for saying that, Otto. I really, really, that means so much to me. And Otto says your passion is appreciated. That really, really means a lot to me, because I was worried about saying that. I had an author's note where I described this experience, and I kind of apologized for feeling this way. And my editor actually said the same thing. He was like, why are you being so apologetic? Why are you being so defensive? And I had this huge debate with him, and I was kind of an argument. And I was like, the reason is because I do feel badly. It's like if you have a little boo-boo on your hand and somebody has like a broken arm, you don't want to be complaining about it, but it does, pain is pain, regardless of the level of it or whatever. But it does help me to feel better, to tell these stories to you guys, and then to get that validation back that it is, it's not offensive, I hope, for me to say this, and for me to say this is one of the reasons why I got interested in this topic, and that I do see, sort of my experience as almost like a metaphor for, for what you've gone through. Exactly. See, Otto is just so, I love the way he puts things.
I know.
Otto, I love this. Otto says, yes, trauma is not a competition. Everyone lives and heals individually. I love that. You're such a natural writer. You're such a natural writer. I love it. Otto, is it okay if I read to you the email that you wrote to me about the kind of the diamond in the rough, that the desert, that thing? Okay, all right. It might take me just like 1 minute to find it.
Sure.
But I sent this to all of my writer friends, and I was like, guys, can you believe this is like, I don't know, how old are you? Like 18 or 19, something like that. But you're basically the same age as one of my sons. And Otto says, my favorite topic. Yes, we know this. Yes, okay, that's what I thought. You're 18. And I was just like, and I sent it to actually my 19 and 20-year-old, 1-year-old sons. And I was like, can you believe that somebody who's, like younger than you wrote this? It was so cool and deep and all of that. Okay, so I am looking right now.
Otto's certainly wise beyond his years.
I'm talking because I wanna find this.
Yeah.
Okay, I found it. Can I read it?
Yes, please do.
Okay, so I was trying to choose a few quotes to include as epigraphs in the beginning of the book, and one contender was actually from Naoki Higashida's "Fall Down 7 Times, Get Up 8." And it was, I didn't love it, but because of a connection with my editor and things, I thought, well, maybe I'll sort of think about it. But something was bothering me about it, but I didn't know exactly what it was. So that's why I turned to Otto for his thoughts. And the quote is this: if I tried to describe what it's like to be nonverbal in the world of the verbal in a single word, I'd choose this one: agony. And yet this is also true. If we know there is even a single person who understands what it's like for us, that's solace enough to give us hope. And my book has a lot about cynicism and hope and things like that in there. So that's one of the other reasons why I was thinking about including it, because of the reference to hope, even though I didn't like the agony. And this is what Otto wrote back. He said, I know Naoki is the first typer to gain international film with his book, The Reason I Jump. I just don't like the idea of agony. It seems pathetic and pitiful, waiting for some rescuer. For me personally, I never felt agony. Does a piece of coal feel agony as it experiences the intense heat and pressure on its path to becoming a diamond? Does a diamond feel agony as it waits, hidden deep in the earth? I always knew I was a diamond, and I was just waiting for the blast that would expose my many brilliant facets to the world. Is a diamond less brilliant, hidden in the depths compared to a Tiffany's case? I trusted in the process. That is just me. I played the long game. I'm one of 50 million autistics with speech-related disabilities, so I guess I'm a diamond in the rough, or as my math genius dyslexic brother calls me, a diamond in the grass, because dyslexics mess up idioms and he golfs, and the rough in golf is tall grass. Ha ha ha. I just thought that was just so brilliant, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just loved that so much. And I sent it to my writer friends and to my editor, and they were all like, Otto should be a writer. And I was like, I think he already is.
Oh, I agree. You heard it here first, everyone.
Yeah,
Everybody on this call will buy Otto's book whenever he writes it.
absolutely. Totally. William says, love it. Hannah says, yes. Oh, Hannah.
I'm gonna do a
Recognize Hannah's name. Yeah.
Well, I welcome anybody in the chat. We still have 15 minutes left. I want to engage everyone who's here, who's a fan of Otto and Angie, to ask any questions, or you can unmute yourself. I know we have a few people from the Miracle Project, which I'm so happy about, who were involved in our conference, neuroscience conference last year, in a panel with Otto that we started because Otto and his typer friends are so inspirational.
Yes, for sure.
So Bella says, that was wonderful. Otto says, I spend a lot of time in my head.
And that's what actually one of the things that I was thinking too. I actually use a collaborative poem, a real life lines from a real life collaborative poem from that was from Neuro Lyrical Cafe, and that was featured in, I think it was from 2 years ago, the Spell X. And I sort of scoured all of those and read through a lot of the poems and lyrics and things. And I asked for permission from Elizabeth Vossler's organization and got the clearance, the copyright clearance to use it in my manuscript itself. And one of the things that I've been thinking a lot about, especially as I've been teaching creative writing to a bunch of, multimodal communicators and spellers and typers, actually in Elizabeth's organization, I think they're all spellers. I don't think any of them are quite typers yet. EB does rock, right? But one thing that I've been thinking is it's almost like, because there are so many of you have had words in your head that it's almost like you've been editing in your head, and then when it comes out fully formed in this beautiful prose. And I'm so impressed by that, because I'm the kind of writer that it takes me like 2 hours to craft one sentence that I'm happy with, and I have to write it, and then I have to rewrite it, and I have to move commas around and decide whether the comma belongs or doesn't belong for 2 hours. And then I finally have a sentence that I might or might not use. So that's like my process of writing. And to see, somebody not sort of agonizing in that way to produce something so beautiful and so fully formed and so insightful is just so inspirational to me as a writer, So that's very, very cool. I don't know, have you taken that kind of, have you seen that? I feel like it's probably something that's not rare, as rare as it is for non-typers. Yeah. And Otto says, yeah, typing takes a lot of effort. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real experience.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hi, I wanted to say hi to everyone, and I guess I'd regret, Angie, not just telling you. I'm really honored to have you here. My name's Dana Hoff. I'm the founder of Autism Tree. We started the foundation 20 years ago when my son Garrett was diagnosed with autism. I have to say, one of the favorite things Otto's ever said to me is that Garrett, I guess she said it to Garrett, that Garrett was a brother from another mother. And that was from their work with the recent legislation that passed in San Diego to hire a more neurodiverse workforce, which is a workforce of 20,000 people. So I'm just bringing it up. Hi, Elaine. How honored I am to just be part of this moment today, and just to say how truly grateful I am. I love meeting authors. It's just something I do because I enjoy it personally. And when I was living on the East Coast is the first time I had the time in my life to do that. And I had never ever asked an author to come to our book club. But Janelle just really touched me for some of the things that you said, Angie, about how she just loved the level of sophistication, and you found that too. And that's what I'm drawn to when I heard Janelle speaking and when I hear you speaking. I feel like there's a level of depth and sophistication in all. I've seen so many authors, honestly, and you and Janelle just are very special. And it means so much to me to see this organic relationship happening between our communities, and also just keep shining the light on the mod squad is like sort of everything. To me, Otto's been an eagle and just like flying over all of us and taking places we haven't been and that we've wanted to go. And this moment is one of them. So I just wanted to say thank you. I really work myself on being present. And this present moment is one that I'm going to hold on to probably for the lifetime that I have. And just to say, I know that we're all building a legacy here. And when I say that, what makes me teary is I can't even conceive quite what word to even say or even imagine what that legacy is, because I'm so mind blown. And the other thing, I don't know, is Dr. Levy on here?
No, he's
Okay. Angie, if you could convey a message for me, and I know Dr. Levy would have wanted to meet you as well. He's really wanting to involve Janelle and you in our neuroscience conference with the Mod Squad here with Otto and Bella and William. So I hope we can stay in touch, and that my son Garrett really wanted to be here today. So Otto, please know that Garrett would never have missed this. He just is working really hard, and he may be in Washington DC this summer. So Angie, I'm wondering if we could meet you in person if that's where you're at. I would love to.
Yes, I would love that. So I'm in Northern Virginia, right outside of DC, and I'm in DC all the time because my writing group is there. I would love that. Let's keep in touch. I'm actually a subscriber to Autism Tree, so I get all of your newsletters and things because I just love what you do, and I am. And I would be happy to do that as well. I've been kind of in my writing closet, writing away for the last couple of years, especially with the pandemic, of course, but especially with the book coming out in September and things. When my first book, Miracle Creek, came out, I spent quite a lot of time in California. So would love to meet all of you as well. That would be great. And maybe Otto and the Mod Squad can actually be in conversation with me at a bookstore for a book tour event. That would be great. I would love that.
Yes. I love that. I love that too, Angie, because like I said, honestly, I've been to so many live events with authors. Mm-hmm. And that would be, like I said, that, I mean, I couldn't even imagine, like I was saying, and that would be extraordinary. Yeah. That would be absolutely, I think we're all trying to go together in this present moment.
Yes, no, exactly. I think that would be so great. And I think that would be such a natural fit, especially for the audience that comes out for my book, because the audience, they're going to, it's like a great way to introduce them to this, to the real life versions, right? Before they read the book. And Warwick's, yep, absolutely. Yeah, Warwick's is the bomb. And yeah, so I would really
plant a seed. I want to plant a seed with you, Angie, because I know this is your world. And Otto, I agree about Warwick. I love when Warwick's, they sometimes do events at USD, and I went to an event there in the Peace and Justice Center, and I'll never forget it. I met an author who, Otto blew my mind when he chose this book. I had met the author right before they shut everything down for COVID, and I Otto, will you help me? What is that book? that you love that we read as the first book club book, a Paragon.
Paragon.
Yeah, and he's an Irish author who dedicated 5 years of his life to telling a true story about two fathers who came together when their children were killed. One was Palestinian, one was Jewish. This took place over in Israel. But the author's Irish. So when Otto chose that book for our book club, it really blew my mind, because in terms of like an actual event, I really love the way Warwick's did that event at the Peace and Justice Center at USD. I'm just planting a seed. That'd be pretty amazing. Because I think we could probably get a lot, Angie, of our Autism Tree community to come out for that.
Oh, that would be great. I would love something like that. And it would be such a natural, and it's funny because Miracle Creek is also, has, it has autism and cerebral palsy. It has lots of different, but the Miracle Creek and this book, Happiness Falls, are kind of like mirror sides of each other, almost the opposite sides of the same coin, kind of, because Otto is saying party on the spectrum. I love it. It's like wordplay, right? Like even today's title, From Impossible to I Am Possible. It took me a second, just a minute, to be like, wait, what is that? And then I was like, oh, wow. Like just the wordplay is just so brilliant. I love it. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so Miracle Creek, my first book, is really focused on parents, and I sort of juxtapose like parenting sacrifices, like, from the perspective of a Korean immigrant parents who sort of like, who sort of give up their entire life in that particular place to come to the US for their daughter. And juxtaposing that to parents who, are doing this particular very intensive therapy, for this experimental therapy that takes up, like, where you're supposed to do 2 sessions in a day, morning and evening, for like, 40 sessions for various medical things, conditions and things like that, from cerebral palsy to, and there are some parents of children with autism too in there. And so sort of talking, but the spotlight is definitely on the parents. And then, this book, the second one, I knew was going to be the spotlight on the children, the siblings, and the child, the 14-year-old himself. And so they're kind of sort of mirror opposites of each other. So it'll be so interesting to sort of see the different kinds of feedback from that too. That is, what a great idea. Thank you so much for thinking of it.
We have confirmation from the Mod Squad in the chat. Otto's
yes, that they all wanna. Yes, you guys are okay. You can't back out now. I have video recording proof. This is awesome. I love it. This is great.
And then Elaine Hall, I see that you have your raised hand if you want to unmute yourself, if you have any questions or comments.
You and Elaine.
Hi, what an honor to be here. It's so great to see everybody and my friends at Autism Tree, and Dana, thank you. My name's Elaine Hall, and I'm the founder of the Miracle Project. And I'm so excited to see the Mod Squad here, and Otto, you're just amazing. Angie, thank you well, first of all, that you are bringing in expert consultants in that to review your book in the beginning, that you brought in Otto and the squad. And I love that. And we're working towards that in so many other fields and in the media, to be hiring consultants that are experts in the field. And there's no better expert than those who are typing themselves. So I really want to applaud you for that.
Oh, thank you.
And then for approaching this subject in such a internal and humane way and positive representation. So thank you so much. Also, as founder of the Miracle Project, I just want you to know we would love to support let us know ways that we can support when the book comes out.
Okay, great. I would love that.
Because I can't wait to read it. I'm so excited. And thank you again, everyone at Autism Tree, for bringing light to the world in so many wonderful ways as of this conversation. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Otto,
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for you, but I thought that Otto had presented to our book club that he wanted all of us to read your book and then have you come and talk to us about it.
Yes, I would love that. And I would especially love it because I think there are some, it's funny because Janelle just did her presentation yesterday, Janelle Brown, at this conference where I am, and her topic was unlikable characters, which really, and she and I have talked about this a lot. And some of the parents, I warn you, in Miracle Creek are unlikable characters. They spout out, because it's a very close POV and it's a very intimate POV where we really get inside their heads. We hear all of their ugly thoughts and some of the shameful thoughts. So I just wanted to like a kind of a trigger warning that there is, and Otto did read it, and he told me that he loved it. So hopefully he wasn't just, being nice. But I would love to attend a great discussion of that. I think it would be a heated, like great, intense discussion. And no holds barred. And I really want to, I think that would be so wonderful for me as a writer, and also just so much fun. So I definitely want to do that. And William, you're going. Okay, thank you. Bye. You left already.
Angie, I want to tell you, I would love to put this on our calendar because I know how busy you are.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Otto, let's figure this out because we're all so busy. And what I wanted to also tell you, Angie, is I very much am looking forward to reading your books. And since I didn't read your book yet, I watched a lot of your big interviews on YouTube, and I really enjoyed them. And the one that I was watching today was you were talking about your book coming out on your 50th birthday, and you were in a bookstore and your husband was there. And I really thought if anyone wants to see Angie in action more than just right here, right now, I think her interviews that she does on her books on YouTube are fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much. So that was probably the launch event at Politics and Prose, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes, that's great. Yeah. So if you just Google Politics and Prose, Angie Kim, Miracle Creek, because I also moderate a lot of events for Politics and Prose. So but that would be great. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I definitely want to do this. Let's put it on the calendar. For sure.
I think Otto put a date in already. What do you think?
Good.
Did you see it, Rebecca?
The first Saturday in
May.
Let's
That would
see.
be the 6th, May 6th. Day after Cinco de Mayo.
Oh. I can do it if you can.
Okay. Great.
Great.
If we can have your permission, we'll put it on our calendar, and then we'll put a link to your lunch and learn today.
Definitely.
So people can start getting to know you.
Definitely. That would be really, really awesome. I'd love that.
Otto, is that okay with you if we start promoting it now and maybe have a few new people in the book club?
Hell yeah. I love it.
Awesome. And would it be okay if maybe I ask Evie to, since it's virtual and people can be on the East Coast, maybe Evie can sort of talk about it, because I know that there's not a book club for, in her organization. And that might be a really cool synergistic thing, right? To bring that together. So that would be great.
Absolutely. The more the merrier.
Okay, cool. Okay, great. That would be great. Love it.
LFG. What does that mean?
What is LFG? See, we're not, I'm too
Oh.
old to know all of these. Wait,
I
what's
think,
LFG?
is it let's go?
Oh, okay. All right. Got it.
Got it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for your time.
This is great. This is so great. Thank you so much.
I would really love to take a group picture before we go.
Yes, let's do it.
Do it. All right. If you don't have your camera on, we would love to see your smiling faces if you're able to share. Yay. Okay, awesome. Ready?
Yeah. Turn around.
Do a little countdown. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Cheese.
Oh, Bella, great.
Yay. Yay.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Angie.
Absolutely. And also just one final, I know I already said like trigger warning or whatever for on Miracle Creek, but one thing that people who read Miracle Creek who have, who don't know about Happiness Falls yet or whatever, have sort of said, it's really too bad that there's not enough representation because there aren't any perspectives from the children's perspectives. So just know that that's like, I saved that for this book. And so hopefully you guys will be, like you'll understand and realize that it's really focusing on the parents.
We can't wait to read it.
Bye.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Look,
Bye.
raise your hand.
Bye.
Look like this. Oh, yeah.
I love it. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Okay. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
We'll be in touch. Thanks,
We
Otto.
definitely can't wait. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.